It's up there. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
All the bells of Bridging Park are dinging us in.
That's why I've put my earphones in, because we've currently got people walking up and down our roof.
Oh my gosh. Just hear the bells. The bells.
The women in beer.
Oh, are we live?
We're alive.
I think we're live.
Indeed.
So, hi, I am Katie. I am the gaffer at Nomadic Beers. We're a small brewery based in Sheepsky. You can see my brew kit behind me. Very shiny. We've been going now for about 4 years, and we're very excited because we can open our tap room next week. Yay!
I'm Verity. I'm a co-director at Amity Brew Co, which has been established for just 9 months now. We launched in lockdown, and the role I play is sort of marketing support, social media, and making sure we're carving a bit of a community for ourselves in West Leeds.
I'm Kate. I work for North Brewing Co and North Bar Limited, but I work in the events and marketing department for both companies. And North Bar has been established since 1997, so we've been going almost 24 years now, which is just crazy. And the brewery itself has been established for 5 years, and we've finally moved into our new home here at Springwell, which is very exciting.
And it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, guys.
We paid a visit, and it's pretty awesome down there. I do want to come down and sneak a little peek at your brew kit as well at some point. And Amity now, actually, because I think the last time I visited you guys, you didn't have your brew kit in as well. So
no, I think we were. So yeah, I can't wait to visit Springwell. Are you all systems go for the weekend then, or?
We think so. Yeah. We're women in beer. I suppose we should chat women in beer. So I started brewing probably about 5 years ago. I worked at another brewery that is no longer in Leeds. They didn't make it, and that is where I met head brewer Ross. So Ross actually taught me to brew. It was good fun, and then we started brewing in the Fox and Newt on Burley Road. That was always a good one because you had to handball the grain down the cellar steps to the basement, so a ton of grain each time. And I loved the comments from the delivery drivers. You not got anybody you can help you, love?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was always fun.
Always a favourite one.
Oh, yeah.
Need help with that.
Like, no, I've done this before many times. Then we grew a little bit more, and then we moved in here. It's 3 years in August, so we spent most of our time in a pandemic in this place now. I think we got a year just before the weirdness hit last March.
Crazy. And how are you the only female brewer in Leeds? Is that right?
I think so. There is, I don't know, it's confusing because it depends how you define Leeds. Because is Ilkley, that's a Bradford postcode, isn't it? Because they've actually technically lucky got a female brewer.
Yeah.
Also, are you defining female brewer by head brewer or by brew team? Because here at
actually,
North,
you've got
yeah, we've got Bryony, who's now our QC lead and is really enjoying doing some research into that. And we've also got Hannah as part of our brew team, and just having those two around has been great fun. Not only did Hannah start just as we were moving into Springwell, so she got the opportunity to learn the new kit as a newcomer, but also managed to work over at Taverners as well for a little bit. So it's been really good.
There's Maddie over at Northern Monk as well.
Yeah.
Joined
I
the
love
team.
it when you start to think about it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even as a female, I feel ashamed that I had to think about it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think is all ingrained into us a little bit. But yeah. Yeah.
It's
Verity, how did you get into beer?
Yeah, that's what it kind of sparked my memory then. I mean, I've got my own PR agency, which I've been running for 4 years, and it's food and health focused. And I've just kind of been a beer widow and a hanger on to my husband Russ. But because I enjoyed working for myself so much, we just kind of kept coming back to the idea of having a physical place. I love hospitality, and Russ is, just so passionate about beer. So we went on holiday, and just by the end of it, we realized it's all we wanted to do. But for me, it's so interesting because I've gone from such a female-led industry of PR where, it's 90% female, to the beer industry, which isn't. And I do see a massive difference. It's so interesting, particularly in the language and the way people use terminology. So it's been really interesting for me. I've definitely rung the sexism bell more than once. I'm just making sure that it's as inclusive and equality as possible.
Yeah. It's always interesting. Sorry,
Katie.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I was going to say, I had a completely different entrance into the craft beer world than both of you, because I moved up to Leeds, 6 years ago now? And my first job that I got up here was at the Kirkstall Bridge Inn. And that was my first introduction to craft beer and to the world around it. But the amount of people that you'd have come in, and you'd go up and ask them for a drink. And instead of asking you for recommendations, they'd go straight to the male who was stood next to you. And that was quite an interesting one for me. But I learned so much whilst I was working there. And that was, a very small percentage of our customer base would do that. And this is what I love about Leeds, is they seem to be a lot more open to anybody getting passionate about beer and listening to what you have to say and why you're so passionate about it, which has been really lovely, especially during the pandemic, because we've been doing virtual tastings and I've got to meet loads of different people and hosted fully male guested tastings, and they've all just sat there afterwards and gone, wow, okay. So it's good.
Yeah, I do get a few people asking me if I actually know how to brew. Yes. Yeah. They seem to think that Ross, I mean, I'm not going to lie, Ross does probably do more of the manual work now because I'm the one who has to do the paperwork because I'm the one who knows what to do on that side. But I'm like, yeah, I can run my business. I can start with the grain.
With doing the paperwork, are you allotted that because you know how to do it, or are you allotted that because of your gender role?
No, I'm allotted that because it is my company. Like Ross can't do a lot of stuff like GT and stuff like that. It is the director or a designated person that has to do it. So it's just that's how it falls. But we've just we're now got Harriet with us as well. So we've got 2-to-1 ratio, which I quite like. When we were advertising for a sales person, I mean, obviously it was the right person for the job, but I was a little bit pleased that we had another female in the company as well, because I can be like, look, there are lots of ladies in beer.
It's one of the things I love about working for North as a company, though, because our split is actually 45-55.
Wow.
in percentages. So that's across all of our bars, all of our tap rooms, and the brewery itself. But it just means that you feel a little bit more comfortable coming in every day to work, and you get to pick the brains of not just your male employees, but your female employees as well. And it's really helped to shape our brand as well, because whenever we do get a new space, we try and make it as gender neutral as possible, unisex toilets, and there's no box that we're then pigeoning people into when we're thinking about the products we're making or anything that we're doing, really. We try anyway.
But do you have anything for the ladies to drink when they come down to the tap room, though? I mean, you've got all that beer, but have you got something for the ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a fun question.
It's also the size of the size of the pint you go for. If you go for a pint, you get a look.
Yeah.
Have either of you ever had the comment, "Are your hands big enough to hold that glass?" before?
No, I don't think I've had the assumption that I was the cup of tea and not the pint when I was driving. When I wasn't driving, sorry, when my partner was driving. I'll have that, thanks. And pints to half pints as well. Generally, the half pint will get put in front of me, not Mike. Yeah. It's all right, I'll have the big one, thanks.
Well, we've got our producer Matt asking us what do we all like to drink.
For me, it is the darker and the stronger the better.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, things that you probably should drink in thirds because it's quite strong.
That's it, yeah. But you try and get it in a pint if you can.
I mean, I don't know about you two, but I'm a massive sour head. And
Yeah,
the more
I like
sour and the more intense, the more I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, especially as we're getting to summer and you're seeing all these amazing beers come out. But sour IPA is probably one of my preferences at the moment.
I must admit, I'm not very keen on hot bombs. I'm not a fan of either. I'm not going to say hot burn because that's obviously when beers have not been made right, but just the harshness that some of them have. I'm not keen on that. I'm probably two ends of the scale. So darker, stronger, the better. But light beers, I do prefer something kind of lighter ABV. And I am a massive fan of the best bitter. Give me a proper Yorkshire pint.
Oh, that is one thing I've missed during the pandemic is a nice pint of cask.
That's it.
Just beautifully poured, watching it fade. Oh, just the romanticism over a pint of cask is amazing as well.
Yeah.
Oh, you're making me dribble now. I'm here at Rudding Park for a day off before the madness, and they've got Cold Bath Brewery. So I'm definitely gonna have a nice pint of that with my lunch. But yeah, I'm definitely into imperial stouts, like big and silly and sweet or peanut butter in it. Just
yeah,
I
love it.
Absolutely love it.
Well, with both of you, sorry, Verity.
No, you go, Kate.
I was going to change the subject, but if you want to keep going, sorry.
No, change away, go for it.
I was just going to say, with you both being quite pivotal members of both of your businesses, how have the last 12 months been for you both?
I am very tired and I could do with a year off. So for us, Ross has been on furlough for the majority of the last, what are we on now? It's not quite 18 months, is it? He came back part-time furlough last summer and is back on part-time furlough now. Harriet started working with us in September and then went back on to furlough in October, but she's back off furlough now, so we can actually sell some beer. So Nomadic has pretty much been running on me and Mike, who's been volunteering. So we are both very tired. But it's also showing that me and Mike are obviously all right together because we live and work together. So we're pretty much 24 hours together as well.
It's the test of a relationship, surely.
It really has been. But it's been a long, it's not quite 18 months, is it? 16 months-ish. But yeah, I have told Ross and Harriet when they come back that I am taking a year off. I'm just going to go lock myself in a room somewhere.
Well, Same for me, really. I live with Russ. Obviously, we started up whilst in the pandemic, and to top it all off, we had a toddler who was chronically ill over the last 12 months. So he had tonsillitis every 3 or 4 weeks, 12 or 13 times. So it really has been about survival for us. We've just had to be really focused and just try to keep upbeat and positive and take things every day as they come, and try not to get overwhelmed. But it's been a huge lesson in looking after ourselves and self-care as well, because it's just
definitely,
it's been absolutely insane.
So I just saw Amy's thing pop up at the bottom. So she said the amount of times that she's been passed over while she's been stood in a room, and standing at the bar. That's obviously not an issue at the moment because we're mostly table service, but when you're fighting with 20 other people waving £20 notes at a bar, it does tend to be the men that get served first.
I mean, I'm all for getting rid of standing at the bar generally. I don't understand it. I think it's a British thing that I just, I mean, North spearheaded it really, didn't they, in terms of doing table service at North Bar, and I just think there's, why not? It just makes sense.
I'm a bar fly.
I love
sitting I absolutely love sitting at the bar and just meeting the
with
weird
a book
people.
and a pint is perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, just meeting the people that you meet at a bar. I mean, that's how I've met some of my best friends, is just sat at the bar, mainly in Weapon Take, actually.
I've got to be honest, I'm really interested to see how brew festivals will be run this year, but more so to see the reaction of people when they see a female behind the bar, because it's been almost 2 years since we've done a beer festival, but when we went up to Wylam's festival in October, it was just me and my colleague Hannah, and the amount of guys that came over and were just like looking around to see if there was somebody else there. Like, no, just us. We're all good.
Do you want a beer or not? Yeah.
Would you guys say that you think that the bars are safer for women in the current format that they're being run in, with the table service and everything?
I want to say yes, but I think that's more to do with the fact that people can't wander around as well. Because obviously you can be sat at a table in a bar and a random guy can come and sit next to you anyway. But at the moment, because they're not allowed to share tables, I suppose that has helped. But I don't know. I must admit, I feel less comfortable going to a bar at the moment if I'm on my own, because I don't want to be a one person sat at, say, a 4 table, and then that bar's not getting 3 people's worth of beer in their tills. Because obviously it's been a bit tough, but I suppose that's a different subject, really.
Yeah.
It does kind of put it into perspective, though, when you think about how free everything was prior to the pandemic, and how having the set tables and not being allowed to, go amongst each other, it does make you feel a little bit safer. But then it's not just thinking about being a woman at that point, it's also just thinking about the pandemic itself. So it's a bit of both columns, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think when I've not felt that comfortable in places, it's generally because they've been, kind of divey, unhygienic. I don't know why I seem to compare these two, but just when it's like a real bloke's bar, that's usually when I start to feel a bit like this. I don't feel welcome here, never mind safe. It's and to be fair, I haven't been in a bar like that for a very long time, but usually I do associate with somewhere being a bit cleaner, being a bit more mindful of those types of things.
Yeah, people washing their hands has definitely been a massive help.
I actually love your signage in your toilets, Katie, because it's all about sort of, inclusivity and everybody's welcome. And, if you're make anyone uncomfortable, you're out.
That's actually it's a national initiative called Everyone is Welcome. So you can sign up and you get put on their website just to say that you do welcome everyone and you're not going to get discriminated because of anything, really. It is a great initiative.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes.
It's a shame, but it really does. And I think, the language of it was really good.
Thank you.
Do you guys feel that that people's attitudes to women working in beer are changing at all, or do you think it's still a little bit of a stigmatism?
I think people are more open to it now, but probably because it's of things like this, and say Women on Tap Festival up in Harrogate, and the Craft Beery Girls, ladies, over in Liverpool, and like the different groups and stuff making awareness. I think people are just actually not so surprised when it's a female that's running a brewery now.
Yeah.
It's also nice to see that it's not just us in the UK who have started doing these, I want to call them clubs, but it's not clubs at all. It's like organizations and supportive networks. That's better, isn't it? And doing different things, and different brew days. Women's International Days are definitely a thing that people celebrate a lot more in the brewery world, I'd say. But for us as a company, we don't tend to go with pinpointing a specific beer to a specific gender. It's got to be inclusive. It's all about equality, isn't it? That's one of the biggest things that we're fighting for, and that we want to happen in the world, let alone in the brewing industry.
I mean, I love all these festivals that go on that are focusing on women-led companies and things, but at the same time, I'd much rather people buy my beer because they want to buy my good beer, not because I'm female.
Well, Nomadic's one of the first pints I had when I came to Leeds, Katie, because it used to be a regular on the bar, and great beer.
It was the first place we went post, I think it was the post-lockdown one. It was the first place we had an outing to, so.
We did have quite a few people actually that became regulars during last summer just because they felt comfortable here. We've got a massive empty warehouse. Oh, I think Verity's battery's just gone on her laptop.
I think it might have, unfortunately.
Bye. Oh dear. Okay. But yeah, we've got people that have already booked in that we haven't seen since last summer, and we were their only venue that they came to last summer because we've got a nice airy warehouse. We keep it clean. People just felt comfortable here, which is great feedback. It's nice to know.
I've had the pleasure of actually working as host at the tap room here at Springwell over the last couple of weekends. And it's been so lovely to see people who live in the local area just popping by on the off chance that they might get a table. And we've got a couple who come in, and they've now just basically categorically told me that this is now their regular. They feel safe here. They feel welcome. They're not being judged by anybody. They are the loveliest couple you'll ever meet as well. But it's really nice to see the regularity coming in to a new venue. That's been really interesting to see.
Yeah. Oh, that's fab. It's really good to hear. We'll definitely be walking up the hill a little bit more to come and see you guys. You've moved a bit further away, so it's not quite as convenient as just crossing the road now. But
I know. But if you come on up, Katie, we've got the Meanwood Valley Urban Farm just over the hill from us, so you can go and say hi to the alpacas.
Yes, definitely. Love that.
But what's next for you guys over at Nomadic, and for you in particular, Katie, apart from your year off, of course, to recuperate?
Obviously getting capacity back to where we were pre-pandemic. We're slowly getting there, but we're not quite there yet. Getting everybody to drink our delicious cask would be fantastic. Short-term plans at the moment is opening our tap room next week. So we're open. We've got a private event on Friday, and then we're open for general public on Saturday. I'm so excited, but my to-do list is very, very long. So to be honest, I'm not thinking about much after that. What about you guys? What are your plans?
Well, as a company, there are always plans in the pipe works, and it just seems like we are never going to stop. The pandemic really did put a stopper on some things, but it was so nice to all be in the same place at the same time so that we could concentrate on getting Springwell ready. So there's still work to be done here at Springwell. We've got plans to get the outside area really nicely done up. We're, looking at making sure that all of our venues are ready for opening to inside seating. So I'm going to have a very busy day making sure that the marketing side of things is covered for that. But yeah, it's that kind of trying to pick yourself back up after the pandemic, make sure that the quantities that you're brewing and the production schedule's all up to scratch and meeting the sales that you're putting out.
Yeah.
So it's, a lot of balancing and lots of spinning plates.
Definitely. And just suddenly having to reorganize your week because you realize you've run out of one of the beers that are meant to be in your core range and trying to fit brewing in the air. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah.
Well, for me, I'm going from doing virtual events to doing in-person events. And I've got to say, doing the tap room shifts over the weekend has been great practice for standing on my feet for the whole day, because that was a shock to the system. I've not had my feet hurt like that in probably 16 months or so, because I've not been stood up for that long.
Yeah. I've been doing more and more around the brewery just to get used to standing up, and because we work the tap room as well as the brewery. So yeah, I'll look forward to see what my step count is next Friday.
So when you open the tap room, Katie, you said that you've got a private party on Friday, but what hours will you be operating?
So we're just open Friday and Saturday, 12 till probably around about 9. We tend to start getting quieter later in the evening because people move into the city.
But you've got a great location where you guys are, because you are literally just outside the city centre, so everyone can migrate afterwards.
So we tend to be busier in the afternoon, but we're probably going to open bank holiday Sunday as well.
Nice.
Why not?
I mean, does anyone have any questions for anybody who might be watching? Please do put them up, because we'd love to see your comments. In the fact that I think there are a few. I'm just having a quick look.
Oh, we answered that question, aren't we?
Yeah. I would definitely recommend to anybody, doesn't matter if you're male, female, non-binary, whoever you are, working in beer is great. In fact, I don't know about you, Katie, but I personally think that the beer industry that we're in right now is probably one of the most supportive industries.
Definitely, definitely. And it's, even though, like, I know we've said that we've had problems, but at the same time it is really welcoming. Leeds is a great area as well. We all, like, all the breweries talk to each other, we all help each other out. It's a great community.
Definitely. We've got over 20 different breweries over in Leeds now.
In the metropolitan.
It's so nice to know that when you go to a beer festival, we'll always say hi to each other. We invite each other to each other's events and things, and it's just been fantastic.
It is great. I did say halfway through the pandemic last year that we were going to hold a hospitality party here when everything's opened, and that is still happening.
Nice.
Probably nice. Later on in the year, but it will be just anybody in hospitality who's just had a really rubbish. Well, it'll be 2 years by the time we get around to it, but we're going to have a massive party, definitely.
We've had an interesting question, Katie, from Duke1845, who says, when's the North and Nomadic collab happening?
That would be fun.
You will know more about that one than I will, because it's all with our head brewer Seb.
I'll have to have a word with Seb, definitely. We'll pop over, start discussions, but that would be awesome.
We've done Leeds collabs before. Have you guys been involved in those ones?
No, we did a collab for the Camera Festival that was 3 of the smaller breweries. There was us, Shadow, and Horsworth that did a collab, but none of the bigger breweries. So that would be really cool.
It's been so nice to have the community of brewing in Leeds, though, and like we say, we are really supportive of each other. So there are definitely going to be projects in the future, because we're not going to leave each other in the dark, and especially after we've all had the year that we've had, it's time to bandy together, isn't it? Really,
definitely. So we're getting told by our producer that we have 90 seconds left. So advice. Just go for it. If it doesn't matter who you are, if you want to be part of the beer industry, just find a way in. Whether that's working in a bar, getting some experience at a brewery, just go for it. I don't know what else to say, really.
If you've got a passion for something, don't let anything stop you. I found a passion for beer and just have found my feet, and it's been a long learning curve for me, but every single day I learn something new, and it keeps me on my toes, and I have never been more excited to work for beer. So Yeah,
Yes,
just go for it, guys.
Just go for it.
Definitely.
Right.
Right.
I think that's us now. Right.
Thanks very much,
Bye.
guys. Katie, I'll see you at the tap room soon.
Will do. See you later.
See you later. Bye.